We love Lil Nas X around these parts.
He actually like caught the country fans like, wait, what's this trap dingery do going on?
Yeah,
here?
right.
Like, let me get some of this in to my playlist.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Courage and Nadeshot show. This, to me, is probably going to be one of my favorite podcasts just because I have an infatuation and affinity for music.
Oh, shit.
I have no musical talents. My parents met in band in high school, and I'd never learned an instrument. But as I've gotten older, I found out that it's actually one of my passions.
Oh, wow.
Used to mess around with like FL Studio 8 in like
FL
high
Studio.
school, but nothing ever came of it. But that leads me to our incredible guest. Now, they gave me a little description of you here. You could deny or support anything I say, and I'm sure there's much more that meets the eye than just these things, but I think they're actually pretty amazing achievements that we should talk about them. You're a singer, producer, and songwriter named Suburban.
Yes, I am.
With over 4.6 million subscribers on your YouTube channel. Recency bias here, you have 2 big collaborations with Poarch this year.
Yep.
Both of those tracks I heard myself. And then your latest single, Paramour, featuring Aurora, dropped November 18th.
Yeah.
How did the rollout go on a new track? Were you happy with it? Excited about
I was
it?
super sick the whole time, and they needed me to do so many like social like pushes, and like I had to cancel this initially, and like a bunch of other things, and they were like, come on, man, this is a release, you can't be missing things. And the entire time I was just bedridden.
So you were sick, you were bedridden. That sounds like a hell of a time, but
Yeah.
they push you out. They stick you up with a bunch of vitamins, send you on the Courage and Nadeshot show?
Pretty much, yeah. No, and now I'm here.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, a musical release of that size after all the success you've had, I'm sure is kind of shitty and disappointing when you can't really enjoy it.
It was like, I don't want to say like disappointing. I was actually like super hyped for the song because this was like the first of the batch of songs that I've yet to release, like the album, which is still being worked on. It's been delayed just so many times because of me. But I was just so grateful for Aurora because it was apparently her first ever feature, and like she had just had like that big song, Runaway, that I was a huge fan of, and I'd already known about her music for quite some time. So it was just like hard to find people within my like sonic space, especially like with that weird like European vibe that I try to include, like the Baroque or like the toy box, and even like some of the like classical like bordering Latin guitar and like Eastern like Russian stuff. It's like hard to find someone within that space who's at least exposed enough to the public as like a pop figure. So it was like legendary when she hit us up, or when there was a dialogue finally created and she got on the song, and she was really moved by the subject of the song, which I talked about on My Genius, and it was a super personal song, but that song was supposed to be like, because I'm ass at like putting things out like on a consistent like agenda. It's just like
well, you're a creative, brother. Like that's
I'm
how
creative.
I know that sounds like a buzzword, like influencer and bullshit,
Yeah.
but I mean, I've been around so many talented people in my life, and I try to be as creative as possible with the video making that I do.
Yeah.
But it's ebbs and flows. Like it's not a 9 to 5. You're not on a fucking calendar, and once you put like an expectation in your head, start procrastinating. At least that's how I am. You can't rush greatness, and I don't mean to sound as if I'm gassing you up too much, but I think that's true.
Thank you so much. My the main reason why like I put Paramour out was I never really wanted to put that out as a single, because I definitely felt like it was more of like an artistic like album song, whereas like some of the other ones are way more like pop bangers, like in your face, the TikTok shit.
Yeah.
But, fucking specifically with
Sick of
that
it.
specifically with that song, like Inferno had just buzzed, and I wanted to like have like something to carry me over the holidays, because I was supposed to get this album out in October, and like I really wanted it to be like, yeah, boom, Halloween spooky season, and I just feel like gotta perfect it. It has to be perfect. And a lot of people don't realize like the speed at which like the demand of music and the competition that there is right now. It's much easier being a recording artist versus producing your own songs, because when you're doing like pretty much almost everything, like I used to be 100% or like full on 100% or like Cradles, everything like
Holy shit.
before I never had help. I hated working with other people. I still kind of dislike working with other people, but I used to ask I used to be confused by the concept of artists not producing their own music. I was like, what? People are singers and they like call them that their whole song? Like the main hook in that is like the drop or it's like the loop. Like how can they call that their song? It's the producer's song, because I came from EDM and there it was like DJ features like vocalist. That's their song. And it was a weird concept to flip, because that was during like an industry moment where like producers were trying to take back their own power, their own independence. So originally I was asking myself, how are artists in the industry not 100%ers? Now I'm asking myself, why is any artist in the industry 100%er? It's just it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. So long as like social media is a factor now and the mystique is off the table of like a real recording artist, like you have to be actively like on your phone, like doing photo shoots, doing TikToks if you're like not at a place of leverage where you're like, yeah, I'm this artist.
You got to
from,
play
like,
the
past
game.
10 years. You have to play the game now, because TikTok has revolutionized everything. I hate talking about it, but I still talk about it because it really has. Like, what song in the past like 2 years has gotten like 50 million plus that hasn't been washed through like the culture of TikTok?
It's the sign of the times, man.
It's the sign of the times.
You gotta adapt and
Have
evolve.
you ever watched The Social Dilemma? It's terrifying.
Yeah,
Everything's terrifying.
It is terrifying. We would love to continue this conversation, but really quickly, we got to give a big shout out to our presenting sponsor of this episode of the Courage and Nadeshot Show. This should sound very familiar for all of you at home. If you didn't know, you do now. This show is brought to you by Cash App, and if you don't use Cash App, then fuck you. Cash App allows users to own a piece of any one stock with just $1. It's free of fees and free to use. This is unprecedented times. If you guys want to invest, go download Cash App today. Cash App is also available for everyone that is 13 and older, which I did not know that for a very long time, but now we all know, and I wish I was 13, so it was much easier today to start a Cash App account than it was to start one of these old, crusty, yucky
going to the bank
accounts. They're like bouncing you out of there because you look too young. You ain't got no facial hair. You don't got to deal with that. So all you got to do to learn more is go to Cash App, cash.app/13plus. To figure that out for yourself. And if you don't have Cash App, you can download it today and use code TwitchTV, all caps, TwitchTV. I don't think it's case sensitive, but you could throw in all caps for the fun of it. And once you do that, you'll receive $15 for free. So not only are they going to give you your first ever financial account at 13 years of age and older, but you'll also receive $15 for free. So go check it out. Thank you to Cash App, and let's get back into it here on the Courage and Nadeshot Show. How old are you? Do you mind me asking?
I'm like 15.
Come on.
Yeah. Nadeshot, baby. I'm 15.
Are you fucking with me?
No, I'm 22.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was kind of believing you because of the baby face, but
I mean, I got like barely any facial hair. Did I shave today?
you did, and it looks great.
Oh,
but
thank you.
I mean, clearly, just unbelievably articulate. I am so excited for this hour because sometimes we get guests and I know them a little bit because of their ties to the world of gaming.
I know you, Nadeshot.
Do you?
I actually used to watch your shit back.
We got one.
We got one.
Let's fucking go.
Back in like 2012, like when you were Black Ops 2, like
brother.
I watched like the tips and tricks shit when I was younger.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
I was 12.
Dude,
I
don't
was
say
12.
that.
I
You're
was
gonna make
12.
me feel old. Yeah, I mean, I already do feel old. We have one of our creators.
Insane.
He's one of the best Fortnite players in the world. His name is Mr. Savage. When he signed
I've
with
heard of
us,
him,
he was 15.
Whoa.
And he was stuck in Norway because of COVID.
Yeah.
Right when we signed him, he wasn't able to travel to LA or the US. And he was finally here. And I got reminded that he was 17. And I thought to myself, in 2007, when he was 3 years old, that was when I was competing at my first Major League Gaming event. So it really made me feel like a piece of shit. So I'm really glad you're not 15.
Yeah.
You got to experience the Black Ops 2 era. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I realized like after a while I was like kind of cocky when I started getting better at like Call of Duty and like pulling like larger like kill streaks, like 60 and 0 shit. Like,
Yeah.
I like used to like really play the game. Oh, back when I was an incel. Was I talking way too far away from? Okay,
I'm
cool.
sure it picked it up.
Yeah. Back when I was an incel. But yeah, I used to play so much Call of Duty, right? Like first week Fortnite dropped, I was like in on it when like the stereo of the bus was like crunchy from both sides. It was terrible. And like I really lost interest around like season 5, but yeah, I've been on a lot of gaming shit. But back then, I used to be like cocky, like thinking, oh yeah, I could totally like go pro if I wanted to, and then like realize like, oh my god, like 3 years later, I was like, these people are inhuman,
Dude.
inhuman. You're inhuman.
Well,
You're a
I used
lizard
to be.
person.
I
it is,
might be
like,
a lizard.
It is
Who knows?
crazy, like when you realize like a lot of the pros, like the sharpened instinct of like a young 14-year-old boy.
It's insane. These kids are
Fucking-
cracked out
they're
without being
cracked out.
cracked out at the same time.
They have nothing else to do besides
Nothing else.
homework, and even then they don't do it because they think they have a shot.
Yeah. I mean, look, everybody does have a shot in a sense, but only like a couple people will make it.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you said that you were deep into the world of gaming,
Yeah.
and it sounds like you still play a little bit
I
from
do,
time
I
to
do.
time.
When
But
I try my best to get like just some sort of time to myself and my friends, like my internet friends, because that's where I really made most of my friends, was the internet through video games and shit. Because
yeah,
I didn't have that many like real life friends during middle school to high school. Like I was one of those kids who was like, yeah, I think I can make it, not in gaming but in music, and I dropped out of high school like 2015, 2016, and it was like dark times. It was an interesting time because I was very certain, like, yeah, I'm gonna make music, but I made really bad music, and I was like really trying to figure out what I want to do. Give or take, like, it only took like 2 years, 3 years to like cultivate like a good production sensibility. But during all that time, it was only like Skype, Discord, like not even Discord. Like this was before Discord really started popping.
it's like Skype and TeamViewer,
Yeah.
or not TeamViewer, TeamSpeak,
and yeah, and
Mumble. I think Mumble was one, right? That was an audit. Yeah, all the
I heard
Call of
that,
Duty
yeah.
kids used Mumble for some
Mumble.
reason, and all the other like Counter-Strike community was using TeamSpeak, calling us all fucking idiots for
Yeah.
using Mumble.
Yeah.
Oh well. Now we got Discord.
Now we got Discord's like very like everything that Skype should have been. That like I remember
They dropped
like
the bag on that one.
Skype, like, wow, like everyone was like, when is the update coming? And then the update would come and it was just worse. It was
They just
like,
got
that kind of
complacent.
Yeah,
It's like
they
a
got
big corporation
comfortable.
like that. Maybe
Yeah.
they just didn't have the future sight to realize how big an opportunity like a communication platform
yeah,
that truly,
was dedicated.
yeah, and creates just like intuitive user experience. It's so easy. I mean, I think there's some things wrong with Discord, but as a product itself,
Yeah.
overall, is amazing.
Yeah.
But okay, so you know what's great about you coming on the podcast and being successful in your own right in music? I've been doing that all day, bro. I just found out that I'm gluten intolerant and I'm allergic to
no.
dairy. So,
Oh, shit.
And yesterday, all I did was eat like cheesecake and cheeseburgers.
That's sick,
Bro,
That's
I've
living
been
the life.
dying all day.
I got like a skin allergy, like to dust and shit, and like my manager, like he also like deals with it, and he keeps hammering it into me, like, you're not going to stop getting red patches, you're not going to stop getting like eczema and shit until you stop eating sugar, and
Don't give it up.
I don't.
It
right?
ain't worth it.
It's not worth it. I have one life, a lot of itchy skin, but I got sweet tooth,
Yeah,
and I love it.
you can't deny the sweet tooth. I mean, what's life if you're not living? But for me, you are my
Savory
thesis.
foods.
You are like the up and comer in the music industry. You're crushing it, and this is what we used to tell to our investors when we were trying to raise money for 100 Thieves and like sell them on the dream of like a gaming organization being the future of like gaming culture and mainstream culture coming to gaming. Kids like you that grow up and find success in your own right, not necessarily in gaming. You guys are like the tastemakers and the thought leaders of this generation, and you guys, and even more so now with kids coming up today, grew up with video games being a part of your life in some way or another. And I think in a lot of ways, you'll always find your way back to the world of gaming or want to be a part of it in some way or another. So
Definitely.
I'm glad to hear that you were playing Call of Duty back in the day.
Yeah.
That makes this podcast episode even that much more fun.
I was so toxic.
Dude, everybody was. It's okay. Everybody's still going to be.
Peter Griffin funny moment.
Oh my God, the
Trolling.
best. Did you watch like CNanners and shit back then, I would imagine?
Was it like I can smell you?
Oh,
That shit was
the Morgan Freeman,
so funny.
gassy Mexican,
Yeah,
like the
gassy
voice actors were incredible. We
It was
could,
so funny.
I want to dive deeper into that in a second, but I want to talk a little bit about your upbringing in music because, you know, they give us briefs sometimes on individuals come on, maybe some like thought starters, but usually I find my way on my own. So I'm going to turn this over so you know I'm not cheating. But the one thing that I'm envious of that I saw is that you were trained in classical piano. Is that true?
Yeah, when I was like 6 years old, I got a Taiwanese mom, and the stereotype is pretty true, like with at least people who come from the East. Like for some reason, for the past, at least like during the early 2000s, I'm not sure how it is now, but the competition of orchestral music and like classical music, like it definitely trains the brain of a youngling. It will train your youngling's brain, but it like was less so a pressure thing, more of a developmental, like fishing for success sort of thing from the parents. Like, oh, what if they do that? But obviously, like they didn't expect like, okay, he's gonna pick up a computer and make everything. Like it was more like piano, write music, play music, tournaments. Like I never really like participated. I had a chance to, but I was too.
I told you, brother. Dude,
lactose.
Brother, I just took 2 swigs of Pepto before we came in here. I'm about to be feeling great.
Yeah. But I used to play classical music 6 to the age of 15, and I sucked at reading music. I was like a little dyslexic at it. I like tried my best to really like read it, but most of the time I like picked it up by asking my piano teacher, like, hey, could you play that again? Hey, could you play that again? It was all ear training for me. I would just like look at her fingers for a second, like hear it, close my eyes, and it would just like play it back. I didn't realize that was kind of like a gift, and that wasn't really normal. And even if it's normal, like nowadays across like the young talents out there, back then it was mainly like the students that she had that was surrounded by were like incredibly like fast and luxurious piano playing. And she told me something when I quit, and she was like sometimes like a therapist to me. I wouldn't even play the piano sometimes during our piano lesson. She would just talk to me about what was going on at school and like some weird shit.
Do you still talk to her today?
I still every now and then I like message her. She sees what I'm doing, and I like
should hit her up in like 10 years, just hand her a bag full of cash.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hand her
she was
a
that
bag
special.
full of cash. Oh, I should. But but she told me something that like warmed my heart and like really like motivated me when I was 15. But she said, out of all my like students, like as talented as you see like this fucking kid like shredding like at her or like dinner parties, like, and I was just like twinkle twinkle. Like out of all these kids, like she was like, you are by far the most talented out of all my students because you can actually write your own music. That's something that none of my other students have. I'm like, oh,
that's
cool.
Amazing.
That's like, in 5th grade, I like played my like first ever like classical composition. There may have been like things before, but that was like the first one I was like proud of. It was like in C major, but it was still like, it was impressive to hear from a 5th grader.
Yeah.
And like the whole school like stood up and clapped. Obama was there. Everyone clapped. Was
Obama actually there?
No.
But it seemed
but
like
it felt
were
like
when
he
you
was
played.
in my heart.
I love that.
And he and Obama no. And I like over time like just kind of like honed in on like the piano stuff, and then I started to realize like, okay, like listening to Rihanna on the radio in the car, I'm like, okay, how do they do that though? How do they get this from the paper onto these weird sounds? Like I didn't even know what a synthesizer was. I didn't know like what a drum machine or anything was. I still thought like rock bands were like how they recorded things, and it's just like I had no idea what mixing was. So I took it upon myself, went on YouTube. The internet revolution created like the new generation of like
raised by the internet.
They don't like, school is becoming less and less of like, at least if you're like a creative person who obviously doesn't need to get like a medical license or a law degree to be able to get a job. It's like there are people, extraordinary people out there who are getting opportunities that they never would have had otherwise, financially even
100%.
like class wise. It's like now they finally have a platform for their thoughts, for their creativity, for their creation, and like there's people out there who just fully know how to code and never went to school. It's incredible.
They need to reformat the entire schooling system and curriculum.
The education
Brother,
system.
I mean, it's literally to keep kids like sedated throughout the day and like, hey, can you fall in line and listen to rules and regurgitate information?
You give them any sort of creative response, and then the underpaid teacher goes, "Are you getting snarky with me?"
Yeah.
They like get mad at you for like being a little like a bit of a smartass. If I was a teacher, I would like a kid getting like smart on me. I'm like, huh, you think you're better, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, you probably might be.
It's fucking tough when you're getting paid like $40,000 a year and you got to be dealing with like kids talking back to you though.
It's tough.
The whole thing is messed up, and on top of that, not sound like broken record, people talk about it all the time, but you don't learn anything that life actually brings you when you get out of school, like paying your taxes or learning about calories and protein, like at least in the US, like
There's, like, some
macronutrients
finance-
and all this shit.
I was lucky, like when I changed schools, I got like a finance class in my like the neighboring town because I wanted to like try out different schools just to make sure. Like I almost went to a therapy school that was like for like special needs children, and they like almost sent me to it because I had like really bad like manic depression that was like keeping me from doing anything in school. That's what really drove me to like drop out, was like I am so aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of like what I want to do for my future, and I think I have the potential to. And so long as I'm in this hot box of messy children, like all competing against each other for like something that, and I was capable. I got like really good grades, but they noticed the fall off. That's when like the counselors were like, what do we need to do to like keep you here? You're a star student. And it was like during 10th grade, like 9th grade, and 9th grade, like most of the time is like pretty easy to like nail, but I was from a competitive school district.
But look at the self-awareness. It's like you hear normally the catch-22 when you hear somebody dropped out of high school is that dead end, fucking idiots.
I know a few of those that were like,
I'm sure
yeah,
there
I'm gonna drop
there
out
are
too, bro.
outliers, but it's like you can
every
just
day.
tell by the way that you speak and how articulate and self-aware you are that clearly that wasn't the path for you, like a normal traditional sense. And not everybody's going to find their way, but I think it's pretty unbelievable. One question before you keep going. When you talked about the fact that you couldn't read music that well, did you ever watch the movie Drumline with Nick Cannon?
No, I didn't.
All right, brother. You got some homework. Please.
I got some homework.
I'm begging you. When I was growing up on TNT and USA and all these movie networks, every single week they would play Drumline with Nick Cannon. It got to the point so much that I loved that movie. Whenever I'd make a game character in game, I would name them Devin Miles because that was his name.
Whoa.
It's literally about a kid that is unbelievably talented at the snare drums and he plays in a band. And his secret is he can't read music. So you should go watch it. I think you'll really love it.
It sounds like familiar plot wise. Like I may have seen this when I was real young.
Well, you should watch it again. And then my follow-up question, the reason why I was so fascinated about classical piano. So I grew up, not to speak too much about myself, but I would love your input on this.
Curious.
I grew up listening to MTV jams, like hip-hop music and country music because my parents listened to it. And then sometimes I'd hear
country
a little
boy, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Country boys make do.
I do. I still love country. It's got a time and place. I'm not a big a fan as like nowadays like contemporary pop country. I like the old school 90s feel, but there's a couple artists that still sort of carry that sound on.
With Lil Nas X.
Oh, dude, come on now. We love Lil Nas X around these parts.
His show was satire. It was like so funny.
I know, but he nailed it.
He actually like caught the country fans. He's like, wait, what's this trap dingery do going on?
Yeah,
here?
right.
Like, let me get some of this in to my playlist. It was like crazy how the cities caught the middle American ear.
Oh yeah, they
for
always
a second.
do. And that's why I love Bo
Smart
Burnham
ones
as well
noticed.
because he takes so many punches at country music, and he's absolutely right. It's like there's a format. They put a couple buzzwords in, but
buzzwords, beer.
Like for me, like Luke Combs, if you go listen to him as a songwriter and actually like a creator, his music I think is phenomenal. But the reason why I bring it up is because when I finally moved out to LA, I would hear some songs randomly come up on like Spotify or on Apple Music that I remember listening to as a kid, and I never knew the artist or the name. We didn't have like Shazam back then. You couldn't like go Google lyrics like you can nowadays and find it and snap a finger. You didn't have TikTok. So I heard a song from James Taylor, which is like 60s, like 70s folk that I absolutely loved. And I remember vividly driving home from my uncle pick us up. We'd have like sleepover at his house, and he was my dad's twin brother, so we adored him. And I just went down like this Jimmy Neutron brain blast of like, holy shit, I finally found the song that I heard that I forgot that I knew. So then I did a deep dive into just like 60s and 70s and all the genres that came with it. So I know it's kind of like a buzzy artist, but I got really obsessed with like Elton John. I listened to like all Billy Joel's discography. Got into like Grateful.
Bro.
Yeah, Grateful Dead though. I've been listening to a lot of different bands, but I realized I had such a love and a passion for piano. And I remembered that my grandma actually played organ in church, and my mom knew how to play organ. and they never taught me how to play music. So it's like my goal when I have more free time, I want to learn how to play the piano.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have like formal training and you've taken it, and
I should also mention I forgot it all. Like it's
yeah,
all out of my system. Like it's all in the computer now.
so you couldn't rattle something off
if you
if you
gave
needed
me
to.
like a piano, I'd play like a really shitty like progression. Like I'm like good at like earballing things on the piano, but I can't like
Right.
I can't do that anymore. But I used to be able to.
Hey, it's still living inside you somewhere.
It would take a lot of practice to get back to that. And for a while, I was like, I should try to learn this for like live's sake. But I don't know. I just haven't needed it yet. And somewhere deep down, I'm like tired by the idea. Like,
Yeah.
but that's not like bashing piano. But personally, for my sake, it's like I think it's an incredible art when someone like I have a co-producer I work with, Ely Risk, shout out. He's like an instrumental god. Like it's really fun to communicate with him because I'm so like naturally like ear based that I don't like have the perfect pitch ability to be like, yeah, that is an A. Like I used to be practice like every day to like count in the scale until I'd hear like the note, and I tried to do it really quickly to the point where it was like practiced pitch, like just really good relative pitch. And I have like sometimes I can like be like, yeah, that's a middle C, just from like muscle memory.
Mhm.
But he is another level of like you sing him something and he will tell you the progression right on the spot. Like, and it's really fun to work with him because like as technically gifted as he is, I feel like we still are very like level-headed with each other.
Yeah.
About like just basic like pop writing, like things that are hooky, things that like catch people's attention. Like when I sing something, he's like, whoa, dude, that's good, we should have that, I really like that. And it's like when he sings me something, it's like, wait, that's really good. Even though like technically gifted wise, like he's so instrumentally based, I'm so computer based, and he's like a computer producer too, but he tells me like he can't produce without a keyboard in front of him. I'm the exact opposite. I like you put a keyboard in front of me and I will just like maybe like tap it like once the entire session. Like
So it sounds like you found somebody. You mentioned earlier that you hate collaborating or used to hate collaborating.
Exactly.
And you found somebody that sort of fit.
Yeah. It took a long time. It took like 3 years to find two different producers. My other friend Huff, these guys are like, when we're all together in a room, it's like a trifecta. It's like the big brain club. It's just like so because they know what I'm going for. They know like the vision that I'm
tapped
hearing. And yeah, they know how to like malform their creativity to it, and even then like they like celebrate in that style sometimes, and they're all very versatile. I'm like versatile. If you give me the not to brag or anything, but if you give me like the option to produce in other genres other than like the toy box like Baroque shit that you're hearing from me and Bella Poarch,
Yeah.
I could make dubstep if I want to. I'm very like I came from like electronic music,
Yeah.
and I'm very like experienced in like processing, and it's fun for me to play more with sample based stuff and just post process and resample to the point where it's like like non-replicable, not like completely metamorphosized like sound compared to what it originally was. I was trying to remember a word, but I couldn't remember.
Brother, I'm gonna have to go home and listen to this back and Google some of the words that you're using.
Metamorphosizing.
I'm like
You're a country boy.
I'm putting context clues together on these.
Yeah. But with the production stuff I was talking about, it's just like it's just like when I left electronic music, like EDM stuff, I tried my best to break out of that because I feel like there were people who were like, I felt the end coming. I felt like DJs are like big right now, like future bass, and like a trap is becoming more and more of like a production style. This can only go so far in this non-vocal genre.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to figure out how to make myself edgy, and this was before like the emo hip hop rise, before like the dark pop like eras that have been occurring currently. Like this was like music is really happy right now. We need some more edge. And like everybody was like, dude, no one's gonna listen to your sad bullshit. And I was like, no, dude, it's coming. I like heard it early. Like what was it, like really early on? I was like pop production is all just gonna be trap. I knew for a fact. Like as soon as I heard like boomy 808s and like really high snappy bits and like like lovely like loops that just fit perfectly over. It was like everything back then was like house. It was like, no, this is gonna go to this. This has to go to that. It's either that or like it's gonna somehow come back to rock. And it's like kind of done that in more of alternative forms. But it's been interesting to watch like random predictions of mine like come true, but now it's very different. Every eras are faster. Like again, back to like the social dilemma shit. Like I can't predict things as easily now. And it's
Right.
scary. Like SoundCloud used to be my go-to. Like I'm gonna hear the next thing coming. It's hard now. You have to be like an indentured servant to the culture.
Yeah.
And it's scary. Because
Full-time gig too. I
it's
mean,
you start to realize you're being manipulated by the very like devices you are promoting yourself on in order to
should
like
I throw my phone away right now?
yeah, honestly, you should break that.
The
right
business
now.
might go up in flames if I do that. Please don't do that. No, you can break it. We got plenty. You know what? It's fucking fascinating.
Like I try to hear like transitions and stuff in music so often now to the point where it's like, wait, good music can still go viral. Like it doesn't have to have like a transitional moment, but I still really, really try to hear for that stuff still because Cradles, I was never planning for that to be like a transitional sort of virality. I wasn't expecting like, you know, that punchline of the hush, like that became a whole type of format for like TikTokable sounds.
Yeah.
Like I was just making music because I thought drops were cool from EDM. That was what I took. I went from EDM, I looked for the next thing, and I took what I loved from EDM, like texture-wise, and I tried to apply it. And I think I'm doing my best, but now like I definitely feel like, whoa, music's getting weirder. A lot more left field stuff is coming, and it's exciting, but also like well, a lot of these people are going to be one-hit wonders too, because it's more songs than artist development now than ever before. And it's like, it's lucky that I've gotten like to the point of having like 3 songs that are almost all like in the 100 million. Like
I'm not
like,
sure if that's humility or not, but
it's humility. I
yeah,
do know. I'm a
bro,
genius. I'm a fucking genius. No,
Clearly, actually, though.
Oh boy, it's the holiday season, which means our friends over at Truly have a wonderful new pack for us. The Holiday Mix Pack, brought to you by Truly Hard Seltzer, is today's episode sponsor. Picture this, you're at grandma's house. All 5 of your cousins are playing her terrible out-of-tune piano. It's the complete opposite of Jordan Fisher. Imagine that, with how good he is. Polar opposite. Your weird uncle won't stop talking politics at you. I don't care when the midterms are, uncle. Insert name here. I just want to drink the Truly Holiday Mix Pack. You need a drink, and all Graham's got for you is some mulled wine and a bowl of room temperature eggnog. Absolute garbage. And she's out of cinnamon. You can't even add the cinnamon to the
It's
eggnog.
disgusting. Grandma's falling off. We might need to check her into a facility.
She might have dementia, so we should get that sorted. But first, let's have our holiday mix pack. Enter the Truly limited edition holiday mix pack with 4 festive flavors inspired by your favorite holiday cocktails like spiked apple spice, cran orange sparkler, and holiday sangria style seltzer. It's a perfect way to kick up your festivities with only 100 calories and 1 gram of sugar and 5% ABV. This limited edition holiday mix pack is everything you love about Truly. Now, pause this podcast, head to the store, because when they're gone, they're gone. Good luck getting them, and happy holidays. Cheers.
For you, somebody that dropped out of high school, I wanted to ask you about when the inflection point, when you knew that you had made it. And it's like in every single movie that you watch about an artist, you see that first song catch fire and their life changes completely. And for somebody that dropped out of high school, that in the first couple years you said you couldn't really figure out and were putting together like these shitty compositions or whatever the case might be.
making trance.
Was it like, it sounds like you're a pure artist and you really only care about the music, but I'm sure that all the fixins and the amenities that come with it are probably enjoyable.
All burdens.
Yeah.
All hedonic burdens. No.
Dude, see, that's my thing. I don't know how much you care about it, but I'm sure for a lot of people, like when I watch an origin story, whether
I love
it's
mid-century furniture. I will admit it's very expensive, and I can only get the money to approach that world by making music and investing in crypto.
we need more money and we need more crypto punks.
We need
We need
more
all
money.
the furniture.
I know nothing anything about blockchain technology. I throw my money at the wall and I get something out of it.
Nobody has any fucking idea. Actually, somebody explained Web3 to me, and I understand it a lot better now. And I need more CryptoPunks, and I want a restoration hardware cloud couch, and I don't care.
Me too.
Yeah. We got one at home. My girlfriend
like-
had it, and it's like completely worn down. So we need a new one. I need more money.
I want an Arns Jacobson egg chair real bad.
Okay,
with
that's
a patina.
now we're fucking talking.
yeah.
All right. So what was the moment for you? Like when?
There was actually 3.
Okay, perfect. All right, you got them fucking queued up. Let's go.
The first time, and it's pretty awkward, not awkward, but like ironic, I guess, that I made a remix of 21 Pilots Heathens because like Suicide Squad was popping at the time, and I was like, I really just like am tired of like these low ball like 15,000 numbers or like 5,000 numbers on SoundCloud. I was like, we need something big. What's gonna get people's attention? A big song that is slightly edgy, like this is the beginning of the end. And I made like a really hard, like distorted, like trap drop with like strings. And it was the first time I was seeing like, whoa, like 2,000 plays in one day. That's a first. Okay. Whoa, we're at like 15,000 in a week. This is different. Like it started going up and up, and it was like within a few months it was like 200,000. And like it's funny because that's a small amount to me now, which is it's scary to think of like the scaling to some of the artists who are just towering over me at this point.
Right.
And the back then it was like that was the instant where people were messaging me. I was getting like connected. I finally had gotten management, and I made this song. This was the second instance. I made this song called Broken, and that was like the first instance where I was like, yeah, edgy boy. And I was still like a nobody, and I was working with like this DJ at the time who I shared management with, and he was like young, and they were like really trying to push his project, and they thought like I featured on it. They thought that he produced the whole thing, but it was all me, and like I didn't really have enough power in that sort of like situation to be like, yeah, can you not put your name first? This is my song. But like they put it out, and regardless of the reaction towards my project, I got to see it in full force, and it became like one of his like biggest song, one of his biggest songs. And like no hard feelings towards him now. Like we were young, we were kids, if he's watching this at any point in life. But that was the first gauge of like, okay, this is millions now. I got a few million here, like 3 million at the time.
Dude, it must have felt like a fucking
was
rocket in your pocket.
Yeah, I looked at the situation and I was like, I got to replicate this and make it better this time. And I took that like edgy, distorted, like slidey piano. I was like, how do I make this weirder? And I made Cradles. I played it on the piano in my living room. Like, I was like, whoa, this is a riff that sounds like just the basis of any edgy song. I just like went on the computer, figured out how to, and this is still like, this is 2016, 2017 when I made this song, and it was just like right before the brink of like stuff like that. And I like wanted to hear like that clinky clank sound. I wanted to hear textures that were very reminiscent of. I'll give props to Melanie Martinez because she definitely pioneered that sound. But ironically, I had never heard of her project when I made that song.
Wow.
So I probably made that song off of derivatives of her music because there was a lot of people in like EDM who were like trying to imitate that like toy box sound. So I wanted to make like the best toy box sound I could. And I just like took it and like pitched it really high, like high and low, and like malformed it to the point where it was just like clunk, clunk, clunk. It was fun. And it wasn't until like I sent it around to like my friends and I was like, what do you think of this? And it was like, dude, you're like the male Melanie Martinez. I was like, who that? And then
Hold on, let me Google real quick.
Yeah. And then I ended up working with her at a certain point. I was going to go on tour with her before COVID hit.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was gonna be an interesting time. I wanted to like really like get in that space.
Yeah.
And there was a lot going on during COVID, definitely, but there wasn't that much going on for me besides like just self-reflection and like realizing, oh wow, because after that point of like Cradles, yeah, that was the point of like, sorry, I kind of derailed with that. Melanie,
You
but,
can go anywhere you want with this. I'm listening.
You're so right. It's my show.
It is
This
your show.
I'm Nadeshot.
Courage ain't even here, bro. That means we do whatever the fuck we want. I'm listening. I'm here for it.
When I made Cradles and I put it out with this horrible indie label that was like notorious for like gamer outros. I'm not even gonna name drop them, but they
I can take some guesses.
yeah, and it was only because I was from like EDM and I needed to like somehow break into like alternative and like pop. I was like, I have no connections to that. My management are like adults who just have no connections to that world. The major industry was not in my hands. So I just released it on like that one of those YouTube labels, and it's like started like doing pretty well, like compared to all their other productions. Are like, oh, this is sick. Like this is 3 million in like a few weeks. Like this is amazing. 4 months later, like I start seeing like numbers flying in. Like, why is 20? Like
We about
like,
to catch a check here, huh?
yeah, like 15,000, 20,000, 50,000. Whoa, 80,000. What? Like in 3 days was like, why 80,000? Where's this coming from? And then like my management started sending me like, yeah, you should like check this out. Like I had only gotten like 2 like meetings with majors at the time, and they were like just kind of like talking to me like, yeah, we could sign you for like probably like a really small like amount, but like it was like the first like touch to the industry that I had. And I started like going on TikTok, and I started seeing kids doing a fucking Fortnite dance to my song.
Man.
That's how it happened.
That's how it happened. That must have been conflicting emotions.
It was really conflicting. I went on there. I was like, huh, this is good. This is inherently.
Why is his
good.
body moving like that? What's he doing? Take my song off.
It was like it was a Fortnite dance based on like, obviously they like ripped it from a 8-year-old meme that like was but this kid on the platform like added some like kicks to it and made it like way harder, and it was like challenge, and then like it started going like faster and faster, and then it diverged into like several, like it started in Russia initially, and then it went to America. Russia always starts every single trend, like Russia's ahead of everyone when it comes to this stuff, but it started with like,
is Russia that far ahead?
In the space race.
We need to go battle.
We need to know.
We need to stop them now. Hasbullah's gonna take over the fucking world.
I can't say anything. I have some shows in Russia that I'm promoting right now.
Oh, I bet you're gonna have a blast out there.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah. I love love the internet culture that they've produced, and
I
just,
do
like,
too,
I'm
but it
curious
kind of scares
about,
me as well.
It's so like things that are scary and weird, like
See their
pop
dash
off so
cams?
easily. Yeah.
The dash cams, people driving it, it seems like a lawless land. And I was just talking about this. It kind of scares the shit out of me that there's countries like Russia and China that are as big, if not bigger, that have like 3 times the amount of people that live there, like India.
The Wild
And we don't
West.
know a
The Wild
fucking thing.
East.
Like American culture,
right.
you won't learn, you don't know unless you seek it out. Any information about those countries. It's like 2021, I feel like that we're all connected in so many ways. I got no fucking clue what's going on in China. You seen this big uptick of crime in LA? Can you imagine what's happening in other parts of the world that we just don't ever hear about?
How does it feel that they own TikTok?
They do. They do. I mean, that
Your
motherfucker
kids
Trump
are
almost
being
banned it out here. He was like, no, we got Chinese spies.
He was right to do. It's not even that. It's just like the
data collection.
The data collection and the just predicting children's futures and like behaviors, just completely based on what they constantly scroll through and like they are being designed by cultures that are out of anyone's hands.
It's a rabbit hole.
And it affects
Pandora's box.
even if you don't have a phone, you can't escape it. Your friends if you're friends with someone who does have a phone, if you're friends with someone who doesn't have a phone, they'll eventually lead to someone who has a phone, and they're telling them nonsense. They're telling them like false information or correct information. I don't even know what the truth is anymore. And that's just like somehow like getting telephoned to you. So regardless of where you are in the world, unless you have no friends and you like live alone in like Antarctica with a dog,
that dog's probably
no,
got some
Alaska.
information too.
That dog is a dangerous Chinese spy, and we need to deal with it.
If he's got a chip, if he's microchip, something funky's going on. Yeah, listen, I'm about to walk out of here with an existential crisis. Let's get back to the music. I'm fucking terrified. Oh no, are we part of the problem, 100 Thieves, gaming culture?
I love
Are we
China.
too
Up my
kitschy?
social credit.
Shout out
Right.
Russia, shout out
Shout out
China.
Russia,
You'll never
shout
hear
out
it,
China.
but holy fuck. So, when you got your first check, was it like lighting a fire in your pocket? You start spending some money? I mean, you know, what's great too, I think, about new artists as well is they sort of hear about like the trouble and the turmoils that a lot of artists have found themselves in with record labels and deals
Yeah.
that they've signed, 360 deals. Like, were you able to avoid some of those pitfalls or learn
I
from
have
others?
no idea, to be honest. I think I still went for it, regardless.
Fuck
of
yeah.
what-
I mean, hey, you got to leap.
it's just like I'm kind of in this like, I think everyone is who's an artist either has two goals: is to make out with what they like know they can make out with and they like call it, or they get to the point of like self-succession where no one controls them and they're independent artists. And obviously like the goal eventually is to get to that independency. I just have to play the rules for a little while and like get where I need to, because I'm when it comes to the music videos, I'm a big spender. I like really do believe that the second form of like art form that I'm good at is the creative direction on the music
That's
videos
dope.
and stuff.
See, now I can talk that language. A little
I'm
bit.
very like involved in the editing sessions. I don't even like actively edit, but I see the parallels very easily with like Ableton and like
You'd be good in 2
Yeah.
weeks on Premiere Pro. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really, it's just a bunch of hotkeys and obviously like VFX that you want to build on your own. That's like another
Yeah,
story.
it's
But
just VSTs. It's just like
yeah,
it's just routing and in Ableton and coming up with your own effects. But it is very helpful to have that going
Mhm.
into it, because I can sit down with my director Andrew Donahoe and he like will bounce, like he'll show me a rough and I'll be like, no, we have to cut like on this kick, we have to have my movement of the arm, I like how it continues with this part of the keys. Like he hears all this language, he's like, yes, yeah, absolutely, I agree, oh, that feels way better, yep. And it's all very like scientific. And I've learned so much. Like he keeps saying like, I've pretty much given you film school, like if you want to direct your own videos you can. I'm like, no, don't, I'm scared. This is hard.
just let me just throw a couple 2 cents in.
Yeah,
every now and
let me
again.
give you like I'll like with Cradles, I wrote up like a treatment in like 6 hours in one night. I was just like, oh my god, they're letting me make a music video. Okay, let's see how much this costs.
Dude,
I
oh
had
my
no idea
God.
what like the costs were of these things, but they're decent. And back then it was like they only threw like 50,000-80,000 my way for a video. Actually, I had to cover I think I can't remember, but I had to cover some of it. With every single video, I've had to cover some of it because they won't fully like.
Jesus, oh no.
Yeah, because I like don't like taking shortcuts and stuff.
You're right.
And I've started to realize
You're
like
perfectionist.
this is not sustainable so long as I'm not having like active like cash coming in. So obviously I have to fix two things: pick the right songs to make videos for, and then get more cash.
It sounds like you sound like Mr. Beast, because that man makes the most unbelievable videos, but he's dumping all the cash that he made into those videos.
Yeah, I mean
he's fine, but
that's how it like, but that's what you have to do. I heard
Perfectionist,
he
man.
took a loan out like before he like went into it.
I'm sure he did in some capacity. I mean, that man won't
Insane.
stop at anything until he's
Fucking
happy with the
insane.
product that he made. So you talked a little bit about that song going viral and these kids doing TikTok dances to it. And I don't know, it came with a slightly negative connotation, and I'm not sure if you meant it in that
Fortnite.
way.
For
How did you get involved with Bella Poarch then? Like, how did you guys get introduced? Because obviously she like inherently.
Fortnite, no, we she was, when she was in the Navy, she tells me this all the time, but when she was in the Navy, she deployed in Japan. She riding with like her friends down the highway in Japan, they would like be blasting Cradles, and she didn't even know it from TikTok, ironically.
Dude, that's
TikTok
fucking
queen.
awesome.
Yeah.
What?
And she like loved the song, and eventually she just had like this crazy luck spur of like, and it like partially luck spur. She's kind of a social media genius. She's kind of a fucking genius. It's scary actually. She's very scary. She made that M to the B video, and instantly like, this was
For
like
the longest time, I
this-
did not know that she made that sound.
She didn't make the sound.
Oh, I thought she did.
No, she did something to the sound.
No, I remember her doing the M to the B. Oh yeah, the M to the B was actually that viral video
forgot
of that girl
the
from the
artist
UK.
Yeah.
But there was one popular video that she had that I did not know that she made the same sound to it.
I have.
Maybe
I
I'm
don't know.
misremembering, but either way, sorry to interrupt. With
But
misinformation, it's my phone. It's the dog
it's
with
the
me in
phone.
Antarctica.
It's the dog
chip.
in Antarctica.
Russia's fucking lying. I can't. I'm so afraid
The
now.
votes, the ballots.
Yeah,
it's all influence. Facebook, Zucker. Down to like when I met Bella, this was like 2 weeks after her breakthrough of like 20 million in a span of like 2 weeks, 20 million followers, 50 million. She was like, this is the most viral anyone had gotten on like that platform. Maybe misinformation, ignore what I'm saying. But I do believe like she's like one of the fastest growing cases, if not the fastest. And at first she like came to us and I was like, what, you want to be a musician? Okay, let's try this.
Cook some
It
shit
was
up.
like there was such a bad connotation around TikTok and music still at the time. Like people were like calling Cradles a TikTok song for a while until they realized like every song that's fucking big is a TikTok song. It's like there's no escaping it.
What came first, chicken or the egg? That's what it turns into, right?
And with Bella, I was so like unsure of where it could go because I was protective over my own sound at the time. I didn't realize like, I really can just like have this be a staple production style of like the toy box stuff. Like Build-A-Bitch just like has a lot of Cradles style in it with the mallets and the fat like low-B bass. I don't even know if that's the right adjective, but when we first started working together, you had like Addison Rae, you had Dixie D'Amelio like doing their thing, and like no one in the industry that I was around like took those people seriously.
Right.
And I don't know how what the verdict is right now, but like no offense to their projects, like it's just what I heard from the grapevine, not even my own opinion, but I wanted to do something different. I wanted to like make Bella like have good fucking music. I wanted to hear like some sick ass productions, left field productions that you wouldn't hear otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not even capping either. That it was really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
Build-A-Bitch was like surprisingly.
It was fucking.
I didn't realize what was.
She came in and did her podcast with us, and I heard it for the first time, and I was fucking mind blown. Like
Yeah.
truly, hand to God. Not even y'all know I wouldn't bullshit on camera.
Yeah.
I was shocked because I had never heard her sing before.
Yeah, she nailed
I
it.
didn't know what type of
And
like genre instrumental, and it was. I was locked in.
That's like, and for that to be her first song, like obviously, like she like.
It's really good. I liked it a lot.
That was her first song, and it broke records. It broke records for I think the biggest, highest stream debut in all of YouTube history.
That's
let
insane.
alone female or male. It's just like this was the best like performing thing.
Did you have an outpour of people trying to work with you after that?
Yeah, for a second.
Was
like,
it overwhelming?
No, I it all got funneled through like my manager, who's like pretty like on top of things, and like he's protective in the right ways. But it was like I knew my priorities here, and at the same exact time while all this is happening, I still am my own artist, and it's really hard to balance now Bella's project with my own, and then the social media of my own, and like everything. It's super overwhelming, to say the least. It's super overwhelming. If we lived in a different time, and Bella Poarch got viral through non-internet means, like, and this was still a similar situation, it would be so much easier if I didn't have to have my face actively like anywhere. I would be able to like, produce this. Okay, I'm gonna go work on my own stuff.
Yeah,
but it's like
100%.
I can't sleep sometimes because of this stuff, and like I have to take a step back because like the old like manic depression and like dissociative whatever, like the mental stuff, it creeps in and it's like, oh wait, I forgot I'm human again. I can't push myself to these limits, and it sucks because it's like there's people out there who are so much faster at production, and I'm completely aware that she could find producers who are so much faster, but what she's aware of and like what most people are like that I work with are aware of is I put fucking effort into this. Like I've had multiple people like tell me the difference between my music and the production of at least like what you're hearing on the radio a lot of the time, and this doesn't go for everything, obviously. It would be like super cocky of me to say something like that, but I know for a fact like how fast it is to make some of the beats on the radio that you hear on the radio. And it was like a joke to me when like trap beats started becoming the norm, because I knew what like high quality samples, like you hear so many of the same samples in every single song, same exact like flows, rhythms, everything. Like not even trap, just pop in general. It's like, I've heard this before. This is very easily replicable. And the reason why that is because it's more money. It's faster. If it's faster, they're getting more and more hits. It's just they're throwing things out, and you have like a team of people. One dude makes the loop. The other person just puts the 808s on. And it's like, boom, it's done. Fucking throw it to whoever is on this. And then if they're doing that, it's easily replicable. So you're going to have a higher saturated market for that sort of sound, and more and more people are going to do it. And pop gets stagnant when there's an easy route and humankind is like comfortable with like what they're hearing. So unfortunately, I'm going probably the lesser paying route. I don't care how you spin it, but it's going, I want to shoot for timelessness. I want to shoot for something that will be listenable in 20 years from now if we don't have mutant technology ears, whatever. Like if we don't have like, was it
Future's
cyber?
Gonna fuck us up, brother.
Whatever. If we don't have
Neuralink.
Yeah, if we don't have
we're
Neuralink
fucked,
like
100%.
screwing with our eardrums by then, it'd still be timeless.
So,
but because of that, yeah. So long as I make my production so detailed, like 300 track level detailed, like if I'm doing that, it's not as replicable because nobody wants to put in the time to do that. The ones who do make a breakthrough on their own, but I'm trying to also make my own breakthrough. I'm trying to be progressive with pop.
yeah.
And sometimes it's hard because there's like a status quo now. I like develop like the standard for this song structure and style. Now I have to follow through on it. I like kind of did that stupid thing where like I shied away from my first hit, Cradles, and I like didn't want to do that anymore. And I like didn't realize like what I had there and what I could push. And the album that I currently am working on, I'm about to finish. It's like what I should have done after Cradles and Freak. It's what I should have done like tastefully instead of went down like this cringy like emo like whatever route like when I was like 19 to 20, and now I really feel like confident in the sound that blends the style of like mid-century pop, like Latin classical guitar, like trap and electronic beats, just all these different things, Baroque, satirically even, like all these different things that I feel like I've wanted to hear from someone that hasn't made it. That's always been my guiding like status quo is, or my guiding like, it's my guide is what is something I want to hear that someone else has not done yet.
Sounds like we should be pretty excited about your new project then.
Or even if they've
sounds
done
like
it, I
you're
haven't
proud
heard
of
it
it.
enough.
I mean, it's like you seem like you can analyze the things that you've done in the past, what you're doing in the future. So it sounds like the new album is something that like you currently is very, very, very proud of.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it.
Is that going to be releasing in the new year?
Sometime within probably early next year if I can.
I'm excited, man. You know, it's tough. I can't speak as fluently or as intelligently about music and the dynamics of your sound and how you think through it. But now I kind of just want to dig in and see what you're talking about. And I'm sure a lot of people listening at home that might not have exposure to this level of thought and meticulousness when it comes to music will probably really enjoy. I mean,
there's a lot of like production FL nerds out there are going to be like, this is not big brain talk. This is so like low level.
Well, I'm little brain right now. I'm P brain. FL Studio 8, 2006. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing, so I gave up. Do you know K Beezy by chance?
No.
No? Okay. He's a young kid that moved out to LA. He's a producer that's been on a bunch of new tracks with like Juice World, 24K Golden, but he used to watch Call of Duty, and him and I had DM back and forth, so I was just curious. And then my second question is probably the last one that we have time for. You mentioned before that we started filming that you kind of like just ended up in LA. And I'm curious, like, as somebody who's been successful in their own right in music and seeing, I know that I talked about some like pretty poppy artists that were famous in their own right, but I actually really loved the Elton John biopic. I thought it was like a phenomenal insight into the pitfalls of living in Los Angeles and the entertainment industry in general. What has your experience been like living in LA as like a young up and coming producer? It's like, this is the stuff that people, fantasize about. Is it everything that you thought it would be? Are there things that have taken you away from your music because of the distractions? Like, what has that experience been like for you?
It's everything that I thought it would be, and it's everything that I've tried to avoid, and it's everything that makes me want to go back to New York, because it's just like I'm tired of seeing palm trees that look like half dead on the streets. I'm tired of like just the general socialite structure that I've learned of by throwing like one house party and like kind of getting to know like some people around the area. And I really have kept to myself. I'm very much an indoor person. Like for a long time, I've only just recently gone on like this early schedule. For a long time I was like waking up like 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and I would just stay home and either work, play games, or watch movies. Just like, I'm not that kind of person to indulge in that sort of culture, whatever it is now. And when I first came to LA, I was really entranced by like the contemporary like architecture and stuff, because I don't have that like in the East Coast, like New Jersey, New York. Like, well, New York has a lot of contemporary, but it's a different style. It's vertical, it's not horizontal. And definitely like what I like about New York is like people are mean with no filter. Here I feel like people are mean and a lot of people can't tell when they're mean.
And they're just standing there with a knife behind their back,
Yeah.
just waiting to get after it. I hear you.
I usually have like a really acute sense of like judgment for character. So and whenever I hear like people like, yo, stay away from the snakes, bro, like, yo, like don't like, yeah,
But it's real.
but it's like, don't worry, dude, I can spot them really quickly. And I also just have enough friends, so I don't really actively indulge in like networking and stuff, because I have kind of built this idea in the back of my head that if someone actually fucks with me, they'll reach out to me on social media. I don't have to like, or through my management, like I don't have to actively seek out anyone.
Yeah.
And that's not everyone's play style, but for me, I've been like that since high school. Like these kids in high school, they're gonna like rue the day. They're gonna rue the day when I fucking get big, rich, and famous. The quiet kid in the back of the classroom everyone was scared of. Like
You're Naruto running through the hallways?
Yeah, I was Naruto running through the hallways.
I wasn't, but I was watching Naruto at home, so I was secretly like, you go, man. Like, that shit's tight.
But the sort of insecurity of like earning respect just by doing what I think I'm good at
Yeah.
has definitely driven me to the point of like self-isolation in all regards. I've been like this since I was a teenager, and like if someone fucks with me, they'll reach out, and then we may hang out or we may not.
Yeah.
Or we may make a song together.
It's funny to hear you talk about it in that sense, just because, listen, I'm not in the music industry. I'm not a rock star or anything like that. But, for me.
You're a rock star to me, Nadeshot.
Hey, thank you,
You're a
Suburban.
rock star to me.
What's your real name?
Daniel Virgil Mason.
Shout out Daniel. Okay, now we're
Thank
first name basis, Matt and Daniel. No, but a lot of the things that I wish I was better at or wish I did more of is sort of like the social game that you need to play in LA, because there's a guy, and it's not a game to him. That's just who he is as a real person. Banks at FaZe Clan. They're one of our biggest competitors. I've known Ricky since like 2009, and I think one of FaZe's like biggest superpowers is Banks and his ability to just be finger on the pulse with the entertainment industry, just always at the club. He's best friends with everybody.
Yeah.
He's so
Yeah, I've heard
good
he's,
at
like,
that.
like he knows like everyone.
Well, he's just the nicest. He's so any person that he meets, immediately you feel like you're his best friend. And it's not a game that he's playing. It's just how his personality is, his
Trapping these
archetype.
people.
Yeah, bro. But you know, it's
He's
like
baiting
it's
these
like one of those things that my co-founder John was like subconsciously was telling me he wish I could do more of. I'm like, yo, listen, you gotta understand. In high school, I was introverted. I talk a lot now because I learned how to talk in front of a fucking camera. But I only hang out with people that I have like a very close relationship with because that's where I'm comfortable. And I don't even like going out. So I feel like we're similar in that sense. But the music industry,
baby.
hell yeah, bro. I'm like, I even tell my girl because she likes to go out to dinner. It's just me and her. She's not caught up in the LA lifestyle or anything like that. She's from Texas, Houston, but she's very social and she wants to, be out somewhere. And I'm like, I got a social media that will run out. And I'm like, babe, you got to understand something. I've been locked in my room by myself until I was 24, and all this new stuff that we have happening in our lives is something that I'm still getting accustomed to. So I feel you on that sense. But listen,
the internet ruined us, Nate.
it did in the best ways. What would we be doing without the internet? I mean, you'd probably be fucking kicking it on the piano somewhere in the world. I would be working at McDonald's still.
I actually was really good at visual art before I did anything. I almost became something with visual. I wanted to do like concept art for video games for a while.
It's abundantly clear just hearing you talk for the last hour that artistry in some medium or another would have been your calling.
I don't know how to do long division anymore.
I don't either.
Yeah.
They teach these kids some fucking weird ass way of doing long division now, adding, multiplying. It doesn't even make sense. They're making our kids dumber. You seen it before?
Tear down
the
establishment.
We
anarchy
are going to Russia. We're gonna go kick it and drink vodka.
Credit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a whirlwind. Honestly, just getting a preview into the way that your mind works, I think, has been one of my all-time favorite episodes. Just hearing you riff. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even have to do much talking. Just listening to somebody that's successful in their own right.
I'm a self-absorbed asshole.
No, and not even in that way. And I'm not gassing it. It's as somebody who's like very talented in their own right, just kind of talk about their craft and getting an insight as to how their mind works and the connections that are being made at all times. I found it a very fun listen. And so I appreciate you taking the time to do this. And I'm sorry that you were feeling sick. Hopefully it was worth the time. And now I have to go dig in. You still got your old SoundCloud tracks up? Or do you go and archive or delete? Or
I archive pretty much everything, actually.
Yeah.
If like you can listen to Broken still. I'm not sure if that Heathens by 21 Pilots remix is still up there. I don't know.
I'm sure I can find it. I'm pretty good at searching on the internet. I'm sure you are too.
But you can listen to the new music coming out.
I can't wait. We're all gonna go listen. Can you? I mean, we'll have everybody, if they aren't already, go follow you on social. But Aurora came out, or what was the name of the track? Paramour with Aurora on November 18th. So that's out for you guys to listen. It sounds like he's got a new project that he's very proud of that's dropping at some point here. Hopefully like Q1, Q2 of next year, like first 6 months, we think, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, everybody keep an ear out. We got the holiday break. This is one of the last episodes of the Courage and Nadeshot show.
Really?
Yeah.
Like of all time?
No, just this year. I'm really sad that Courage wasn't. Merry Chrysler. I'm really sad that Jack wasn't able to be here because he grew up in New Jersey as well.
Damn, that would have been a fun.
Yeah, one of my best friends actually grew up in Bayonne. For some reason, a ton of kids in the gaming community, I guess there's nothing to do in New Jersey like there was in Chicago. Grew up playing Call of Duty, but are from New Jersey. So anytime I meet somebody from New Jersey, I'm like,
lacrosse and Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lacrosse, you mean like church?
Lax?
Oh, yeah, lacrosse. I thought you said the cross. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm Catholic, or I was. I'm not anymore. Hey, one of our, Eric Muddog, he's the head of our, holy shit. My co-founder, John, who wears glasses, and he's a little bit of a geek, but he's really smart. He was national champion lacrosse, 2001. Went to Princeton. And then Muddog, he played for Temple, which I guess has like an incredible D1 lacrosse fucking program. That's a tangent I didn't need to go on. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out Suburban. We got a new project releasing here very, very soon. We appreciate him taking the time, and one of the best interviews that I've gotten the pleasure to listen to. And now
Thank you
I
so
want to go
much.
see what you did on Genius. I want to go watch that.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, y'all take it easy. Thank you guys so much. You got anything else to say?
Can you believe that lacrosse isn't the? Wait, oh fuck, wait, can we wait?
Yeah, hey, you got anything else to say?
Recap. Say it again, Nasha.
You got as we head out, you got anything left to say, Suburban Daniel?
I'm gonna come out with an album next year, and just food for thought. I was very surprised to find out that hockey wasn't the national sport of Canada, but it's actually lacrosse, and I think that's stupid.
That doesn't make a lick of sense.
I hate it. I think it's stupid. And I think you should restart.
They should
the whole
restart the whole
country.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe we should go take it over again or try to. We had it at one point, right? A little piece of it.
Yeah.
You know what? If
Geography.
they helped us with that crisis. You ever seen Argo with Ben Affleck? Just go watch some movies, brother. You need to go watch Drumline.
Yeah, that was one thing I didn't do growing up. I've been catching up.
All right, well, go watch Argo with Ben Affleck. Canada, shout out them.
You're
They helped
ridiculous.
us in the embassy when we were held hostage, like 7 Americans in Iran. Incredible movie. So that's my only
Canadian.
basis for that favor that you guys did, that we don't invade you, okay? Because we could do it if
I'm
we wanted
still
to.
Canadian.
I do love Canadians. God damn it. We're not going to invade. If I'm president, I'll make sure it doesn't happen. Fuck, I'm losing my mind. YouTube, we'll see you fucking later. Thanks for watching the Courage and Nadeshot Show. Shout out to everyone. Take it easy. Peace.